This is my how-to video for the Gettysburg Battle app. So it's supposed to be a companion app for a physical visit to the Gettysburg battlefield, but I found it to be very effective to provide a virtual visit to the battlefield. So I downloaded this app from the Apple App Store, and it was free. So it's an excellent tool that you can use in the classroom. Pretty much all the students have access to some sort of Apple device and can download it. I'm not really sure about an Android counterpart, but I think that most students have access to Apple. And so it's an excellent tool, and it's very easily navigable. And there's just one, two, three, four little sections here. And the first one is the battle overview. So this is where you can get a strategic overview of the battle and talks about General Lee and the Union Army and the um, uh, General Lee and the Confederate Army and the Union Army and their strategies. And then it'll give a brief summary of the events leading up to Gettysburg and um, talk about the events that occurred during Gettysburg and the outcome of the battles or the battle. And so that's the battle overview. And actually, here at the bottom, as we continue to scroll here, the at the end of the battle overview is the battle resources. So this is available in two different spots in the app. It's available here at the bottom of the battle overview, and it's also available right here. It's our third little selection here, battle resources. And so it takes you to this menu. And that's something that isn't necessarily a limitation of the app, but within the app's design, there's a little funky about the design. It just doesn't necessarily flow very well in that it's there are certain menus that are available in multiple spots whenever it just seems much easier to have it all available from right here. So, continuing on, battle resources. So, we have a strategic overview, which is another little funky thing that we already went over this part here, but it's right back here in this menu again, which once again is not a limitation, but the design is a little different. So, the next little selection here is chronology. So it provides a nice little timeline of the battle and what led up to the battle. And it's excellent for students to who are more logical and chronological thinkers. And it gives them a nice view of the battle. So after the timeline, we have the Confederate order of battle. And that's where you have the lieutenant generals and the major generals and all of their units that they had under them at the Battle of Gettysburg. So, like, if we wanted to go look at Pickett's division, we would look right here and we would say, okay, under Major General Pickett, there was also Brigade General Kemper. And he had 1st, 3rd, 7th, 11th, 24th Virginia under his command. And that just lets you know all the units that were available for the Confederate Army at the Battle of Gettysburg. And it's the same exact way for the Union Order of Battle. If we go in here and we can look. So we look at Major General Reynolds, and he had brigade generals and uh, brigadier generals and all this underneath him. And it just shows all the units that were available to the Union Army at the Battle of Gettysburg. So, after we look at the order of battles for both armies, we can look at the key facts for the battle. So this is just a nice, really general, brief overview of the battle. Just gives some really the most important bare bones details, like the date of the battle, um, the Union and Confederate commanders, casualties, troop strength, the result, and some more really interesting facts about what occurred at Gettysburg and during the battle. So after we look at our key facts, there's a little quiz here that students can take after they have gone through the app and hopefully absorbed a lot of information. And one limitation about this quiz really is that it's not multiple choice. It just has the question there, and then you can click to see the answer. So multiple choice, I feel like, is a little more effective, especially if you're trying to uh, demonstrate knowledge. But I mean, open-ended are also very effective, and so that's just one little limitation about the quiz. But I mean, it's more than effective. So, all right. So after we've gone through our battle resources here, all right. So we've looked at the battle overview, we've looked at the battle resources, and now we can see where it becomes a little more of a companion app for being at the Gettysburg battlefield. So you click on tour stops, and you have all of these tour stops here that you can take whenever you are actually at the battlefield, but they're just as effective if you're not even there. So we clicked on day one, and this gives a little information, tour logistics, about the tour if we were actually there, but we won't worry about it since we're not. So we have all of these different stops along the day one tour. So we have the decision to fight. And for instance, the decision to fight is on the day one stop, and it gives a little information about what factored into the decision for the Union Army to stand up to the Confederate Army at Gettysburg, why they decided to fight there, and each little tour stop has like an audio presentation or video presentation that goes along with the information that's being delivered about, McPherson's Ridge or the decision to fight. All of these things, they have little audio or video or something to go along with it that makes the tour interactive and allows for learning even if you're not actually at Gettysburg. So you have all these tour stops, and you could go first day, second day, Culps Cemetery Hills, third day. All these tour stops are very effective even though you're not actually at Gettysburg. All right, so we've gone through these first three here, and the last one remaining is the map tool. This is also a little more of a telltale sign that the app is meant for being at the actual battlefield, because it provides you with a map of Gettysburg. And you can see here, if I zoom out a little bit, you can see all of the tour stops on day one here, 1, 2, 3, 4 points of interest and all that. So it's an excellent tool in that it shows you Gettysburg, and it has all of the stops on the map here. But another cool feature is that you can overlay troop movement. So right now there are no troops on the map right here, but if we wanted to see what the troop movement was from day one, just click first day, and it shows you the red being the Confederate Army and the blue being the Union, and it shows you the advancing of both armies from day one and their strategies and movements. And so it's really excellent to be able to see how the troops moved right here on the phone. So, yeah. And one more very cool feature, if you were actually at Gettysburg, is the field glasses tool down here in the corner. And if you were actually at Gettysburg, you could look, based upon where you were standing, at the battlefield. and that would give you a excellent view of how the battlefield was from wherever you were standing way back when at the Battle of Gettysburg. So that is the Gettysburg Battle App. It would be excellent to utilize this in American history courses. It's very strong in that it has a lot of information. It has a quiz where students can demonstrate the knowledge that they've learned, and it's very strong in that it is a free application that can be utilized in all classrooms. Now, it is a little limiting in that its design is a little older, and it doesn't seem quite as free flowing as it could be. But it's overall it is a very strong app, and I would recommend it to any history teacher. All right, thanks.